Have you ever stopped to think what it's really like to grow older and do it alone? Not just spending the occasional quiet afternoon by yourself, but waking up every morning to silence, preparing your meals for one, and going to bed without having spoken to another soul all day. It's a reality many face, yet few talk about until it's already part of their daily lives. And when it hits, it can feel overwhelming. But here's something we often forget. Being alone in your later years doesn't have to mean being forgotten or feeling empty. In fact, solitude can become a space for growth, healing, and rediscovery if you know how to approach it with intention. In this video, we'll explore 4 key practices that can help transform the experience of living alone into something empowering. These aren't just comforting thoughts or vague advice. They're grounded in research and inspired by the real lives of older adults who have found ways to thrive in solitude. Each idea we'll share is practical, doable, and surprisingly effective. Whether you're currently navigating this chapter or simply preparing for what may come, these habits can help you build a life that feels meaningful and strong, even if no one else is in the room. Stick with us through to the final point, because it could be the shift in mindset you didn't even know you needed, one that has helped many older adults not only cope with being alone, but embrace it with purpose and peace. Let's dive in. Number 1, the transformative power of daily routine. In the later stages of life, especially when living alone, the passage of time can become elusive. Without the usual markers, appointments, social gatherings, or family visits, the days can blur together. It's easy to lose track of time, sometimes forgetting whether it's morning or afternoon, or even which day of the week it is. While this might seem harmless initially, over time, such disorientation can impact mental clarity and emotional stability. Establishing a consistent daily routine can be a simple yet profound way to restore structure and purpose to each day. This doesn't mean adhering to a rigid schedule, but rather creating a flexible framework that brings rhythm and predictability to daily life. For instance, consider the story of Wilma King, an 82-year-old woman who began running half marathons in her 70s. Diagnosed with several heart conditions, she adopted a daily walking routine, gradually building up to 8 miles every morning. This commitment to regular exercise, combined with social interactions and strength training, has kept her heart healthy and her mind sharp. Similarly, Jeanne Calment, the world's oldest verified person, lived to 122 years. Even in her 100s, she maintained a highly structured daily routine. She would wake up at 6:45 a.m., begin her day with a long prayer, and engage in exercises while listening to music. Her consistent habits contributed to her longevity and mental acuity. Creating a daily rhythm doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as setting a wake-up time, enjoying a nourishing breakfast, taking a walk, or connecting with a friend. These small, consistent actions can provide a sense of control and purpose, especially during times of solitude. In communities around the world, initiatives are supporting seniors in establishing routines. For example, the daily geriatric OPD at Government Medical College and Hospital in Nagpur, India, has served over 31,000 senior citizens, offering not just medical care, but also lifestyle counseling and regular checkups. Moreover, organizations like Cycling Without Age provide volunteer-piloted trishaw rides for seniors, allowing them to explore their neighborhoods and engage with the community, fostering both physical activity and social connection. Establishing a daily routine is not about filling time, but about enriching it. It's about creating a framework that supports mental clarity, emotional well-being, and a sense of purpose. Whether it's through physical activity, social engagement, or personal rituals, a consistent routine can be a powerful tool in enhancing the quality of life in later years. Number 2, keep moving for body, mind, and spirit. One of the quietest changes that comes with aging, especially when you live alone, is how still life becomes. Mornings slip into afternoons without much motion. You sit in one chair, move to another, maybe walk to the kitchen a few times, and before you know it, the day has passed. That stillness, day after day, can quietly take a toll. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and even simple tasks, like standing up or reaching a shelf, begin to feel like challenges. The good news? Staying active doesn't have to mean going to the gym or lifting weights. What matters most isn't intensity, but consistency. Even gentle movement sends your body the message that it's still needed. And this message goes far beyond just bones and muscles. It supports your memory, lifts your mood, sharpens your mind, and can even improve your sleep. A few small habits can make a big difference. Stretching your arms in bed before you rise, standing up during TV commercials, walking to the end of your driveway and back. These movements might seem minor, but over time they help maintain strength, balance, and independence. Science supports this too. Regular light activity in older adults can delay the onset of cognitive decline and significantly reduce feelings of isolation or sadness. Consider Maria Alvarez, a 79-year-old retired school teacher from New Mexico. After her daughter moved out of state, Maria found herself home alone most days. She began to feel sluggish and foggy, and simple tasks like carrying groceries felt overwhelming. One morning, she decided to walk the hallway of her apartment building. The next day, she did it twice. Today, she walks a full mile each morning. She says she feels more alert, more confident, and most importantly, more like herself again. These small changes didn't rewrite her life, but they rewrote her days. Maria now wakes with a goal and sleeps with a sense of accomplishment. That's the power of motion. It grounds you in the present, helps you care for yourself, and reminds you that you're still in control. And you don't need to become a fitness enthusiast, just someone who listens to their body and responds with kindness and consistency. Movement also connects you to your surroundings. A slow walk outside, even just down the block, can fill your senses. The feel of the breeze, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of birdsong or laughter in the distance. These may seem like small details, but they're gentle reminders that you're still part of the living world, still participating in the life that's happening around you. And beyond the physical and emotional benefits, movement becomes an act of dignity. It says, I'm still here, and I'm still choosing to care for myself. In a world that may seem to quiet down as we age, even the smallest act of daily movement is a way to make some joyful noise. So stretch, walk, rise, and let your body know it still has a beautiful role to play. Number 3, staying connected, even in quiet moments. Living alone in later life often means adjusting to a quieter world. Some days the stillness can be comforting, a peaceful pause, but on others it can press in like a heavy fog. You may go hours, even days, without a shared laugh, a familiar voice, or someone simply saying your name. And even if you're someone who values your own company, too much silence can begin to feel like absence. But connection doesn't have to be loud or busy to be meaningful. It's not about filling your calendar or surrounding yourself with people at all times. True connection often lives in the small, steady interactions. A kind word, a shared smile, a short conversation that reminds you, I'm still part of something. A brief phone call to a friend, a wave and a few words with a neighbor, or even a friendly exchange with the mail carrier can brighten your day more than you might expect. These small acts aren't just niceties, they're emotional anchors. They remind you that you exist in someone else's world, and that matters more than we often admit. Science backs this up too. Older adults who maintain light but consistent social interaction tend to have better physical health, stronger cognitive function, and lower levels of stress and anxiety. Human beings are wired for connection, no matter our age. We don't need crowds, we need contact. Take Helen, a 76-year-old widow from Oregon. For months, her days blurred together until she joined a pen pal program for seniors. Each week, she exchanged handwritten letters with a retired teacher across the country. They've never met in person, but through their letters, Helen says she's found a new kind of friendship, one built slowly, thoughtfully, and with heart. That simple act of writing, reading, and being remembered changed the tone of her entire week. So don't underestimate the power of a little outreach. If someone comes to mind, give them a call. If a neighbor walks by, take a moment to say more than just hello. These are not small things. They're life-giving exchanges that keep loneliness from taking root. And connection doesn't have to be about conversation alone. Joining a community project, offering to share a skill, or simply showing up to listen can deepen your sense of belonging. When you feel useful, included, and trusted, it restores a quiet kind of joy, one that doesn't shout but hums steadily in the background of your days. In the end, meaningful connection isn't about how many people you know. It's about how often you feel seen and heard. A gentle check-in, a shared memory, a handwritten note. All of these keep your world open and your heart full. Because everyone at every stage of life deserves to feel connected to something and someone real. Number 4, the quiet power of having a reason to rise. One of the most overlooked challenges of aging isn't just the slower steps or quieter days. It's the invisible weight of not feeling needed. When careers end, routines shift, and family grows distant, it can begin to feel like life has quietly moved on without you. And that can be heartbreaking, not because you're incapable, but because you're unsure where you now fit. But here's the truth. Purpose isn't tied to a job title or a busy household. It doesn't fade with age. It evolves. And in the stillness of living alone, finding that new sense of purpose becomes not just important, but vital. It's the difference between merely passing time and truly living each day. Purpose doesn't have to be big to be powerful. It could be planting seeds in a garden bed, learning to bake bread from scratch, or making quilts to donate to shelters. It could be checking in on a neighbor, organizing old photographs into an album, or feeding birds each morning and watching who visits. What matters is that it means something to you, that it gives shape to your days and a gentle nudge to get out of bed and greet the morning. Take the story of Evelyn, a 77-year-old former librarian in Vermont. After retiring and losing her partner, she found herself drifting through her days. Then, while cleaning out a closet, she stumbled across a box of old children's books. Inspired, she began recording herself reading them aloud and uploading the videos for free online. It started as a hobby, but over time, families began to tune in. She now reads to hundreds of children each week. She says it's not about being seen, it's about doing something that feels right, and it makes each day worth showing up for. Researchers have found that having even a small sense of purpose is directly linked to better sleep, reduced anxiety, and a longer, healthier life in older adults. When you have something to care about, something that calls on your attention, your creativity, or your kindness, it shifts your entire energy. It reminds you that you're still a participant in the world, not just a bystander. And the beautiful thing about solitude is the freedom it brings. You don't have to meet anyone's expectations. You can explore interests you've never had time for, whether that's painting your memories, playing an instrument, or learning the names of the stars you see from your porch at night. You get to ask yourself, what brings me peace? What lights me up inside? In a society that often values productivity over presence, having a personal purpose, no matter how quiet or private, is an act of rebellion, a declaration that your life still holds richness and meaning. Even if no one else sees it, you will feel it. So if today feels slow, ask yourself this: what could I create, nurture, learn, or share tomorrow, just for the joy of doing it? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to matter to you. Because when you live with purpose, solitude becomes a sanctuary, not an absence, but a space filled with meaning, choice, and quiet strength. Growing older and living on your own can feel like stepping into a quieter version of life. The house is still, routines shift, and sometimes it seems like the world has moved just a little further away. But this stage of life isn't just about what's changed, it's also about what's waiting to be rediscovered within you. Maybe something in today's video resonated. Maybe you felt that hush after breakfast or the ache of a silent evening. If so, know this: you're far from alone. And even more importantly, you have more power than you think. Simple habits like creating a daily rhythm, staying gently active, reaching out for genuine connection, and finding a sense of purpose can transform your days from hollow to whole. These aren't just suggestions, they're lifelines. They help you stay grounded, emotionally strong, and fully present in your own life, even when things feel still. So which part of today's message felt most personal to you? Are you already practicing one of these habits, or is there one you feel ready to try tomorrow? We'd love to hear from you. Take a moment and share something you took away from today's video. What's one small change you're inspired to make? Your voice matters here, and your story could be just what someone else needs to read. If this video helped you feel seen, encouraged, or just a little more hopeful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us keep creating content that uplifts and empowers. Thank you for spending this time with us. We can't wait to connect with you again in the next video.